You don't like him. You don't like him.
Yeah, I
But
don't think he's annoying, bro.
I
I
don't think
don't
he's.
think
I
that.
think he's calm, mate.
I don't know, man.
Eugene, yeah. I think if he was a king, you'll die in like a year. I'm
I
being.
would, why that? Because I won't be a slave. Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Pan on Frames Anime Podcast. This week we're looking at, well, Tokyo Revengers, you guessed it, another episode of Vinland Saga. We're almost at the climax, I think close to the end of Tokyo Revengers. Episode 10 this week, where we saw the the aftermath of the big fight with Taju.
Mhm.
Everything's getting sorted. This episode's got a really interesting name, The Light of My Life. It adapts.
So cheesy, mate.
Well, you know, I'll tell you what's
It's
even
so
worse.
cheesy.
A few issues in this episode, a few issues. So it adapts three chapters in chronological order: 108, 109, and 110, and then randomly adapts chapter 122. For which I'll explain why later on. So in this chapter, you know, Mikey's taking Takemichi to meet Hina, and we find out why this has all come about, because obviously Emma met Hina, and Hina's upset because her dad obviously got upset, find out that Takemichi's a delinquent and told him to dump him, and then he dumped her, and we know, right, and now they're making up basically. It's really interesting. What I find funny here is, like, a minute ago these lot getting banged out, yeah, and now it's come to this, and it's like,
Exactly.
you know what I mean?
Exactly.
It feels like a filler, man, this one.
But it's in the manga though. But and then obviously we go to the New Year's party where they all
Yeah,
does his little
they had the shrine in it or the temple.
his wooden plaque and says that he wants to protect people, whatever. Yeah, but you know what's interesting? So obviously they had the flashback with Draken and Mitsuya.
Yeah, when they were youths. The twin, what is it? The twin dragons?
Dragons. So that's actually chapter 122. So that happens at the end of this arc, because there's two chapters at the end of this arc that separate this arc from the Tenjuku arc. Yeah. But randomly they put it in there, and my issue is, that part of the episode, had no business being there. It added nothing to the episode. It just dropped randomly.
Bowling again.
Bruv, he had his bandage on. He hasn't got a bandage on. You know, Mitsuya's got a bandage on his head in this scene, yeah? He hasn't got a bandage on his head in
the past.
No, man. No. In the original
Okay.
Yeah, so basically what I'm trying to say is, like, it could have come at the end of the arc like they did in the anime, in the manga.
Yeah, I understand. Them following the actual, like, line of the way the stuff happens in the manga would have been better.
Another issue, before you might think I'm being really pedantic, but you know, like, when Takemichi has his little wooden plaque with the message on it.
Yeah.
And you know,
don't tell me it said something else.
No. No. And you know, Hakai grabbed it and was like, "Oh, you can't get it." In the manga, that's actually Chifuyu, and I don't know why they made it Hakai in the anime. Maybe because he's taller, but it's just like, why? Why change it?
Yeah, that's a weird change.
Yeah.
It's a weird change, and I feel like
weird change.
There's a few things where it's just this episode. I mean, we got to hear his brother's voice, Shin's voice, for the first time, which was interesting. Oh, and one more thing, sorry, because so you know, in the flashback with Mikey's brother, where you see the gang.
Yeah.
So in this flashback, I don't know why they've done this. They've had a massive spoiler, but you wouldn't know it's a spoiler unless you read the manga. One of the characters.
Think what though?
You know, when it shows the gang, like, shows his allies.
Yeah.
One of the characters comes in another arc later on, but he's not in that original picture in the manga.
Oh,
all right.
Shit.
I'm
trying to think who the hell it is.
Yeah,
you know Sanju's brother, the one who's part of the Black Dragons, who's part of he hangs out with Senju. Senju's brother.
Nah, bro. I'm way gone. He's not coming back to me.
You know, it's Takeyomi. He was Shin's number 2 in the Black Dragons. He's a big character. He fought against South.
I'd have to see it, though. I'd have to see it.
We're not. It's not coming to us, Eugene, bro. We're not purists like you, bro.
Yeah, I know.
We're not purists like you. When it comes down to the thing, we're not really, like, you know what I mean, photographic memories and that.
All right, but he's in one of the characters come later on. But anyway, so he wasn't in the original scene where they showed Shin's original Black Dragons, and I just think that's bit random that you put a character who, I mean, obviously you wouldn't know if you listened to the manga, but still, if you read the manga, you'd be like, oh, this is a bit spoiler, a bit, a bit random. But anyway,
I hear that.
Let me not be too much of a.
But if you've read the manga, it don't matter if there's any spoilers because you've
exactly
read it.
You know what's going on.
I know what's going on, but then I told somebody, oh, you got me, or they just did there. They were like, oh, sorry, what spoiler? You know what I mean?
But now, this is a good example because you're talking about it, and all three of us have read the manga. We know exactly what's happening at the end, where it goes, and 2 out of the 3 of us don't remember who the hell this guy is.
That's you guys weren't paying attention. That's not my problem, man.
Bruv, okay, wow.
That's like his number plate.
No, I want the trees that you said. But anyway, guys. So obviously, I've had my little moan, I guess. What do you guys think of the episode?
It was alright. I feel like Takemichi's moist. Like he does too much for. Not even too much. I feel like he's just one of them guys that if you was to see on road, you'd look at this guy and be like, "Oh, fam, what are you doing with your life, bro? All this over girls." Yeah, and then the way he reacted when he saw her in the outside of her house. Was it outside of her house? Outside when Mikey outside the flat? Yeah, man. I was like, this is a bit moist, isn't it? But at the end of the day, it's Takemichi's character. But yeah, so I was kind of indifferent about it. I want the next part to start. For like, even though this part makes sense in terms of the story and how it goes in the manga and that kind of stuff, but I want the next bit to start because the next bit's more exciting.
Yeah, the next part, the arc is sick, bro. But we won't get it. But sorry, Lewis, as you were saying, what are your thoughts?
No, I think for me it just felt like just big filler after all of what we've just gone through, and it just feels filler. And there was one thing though that kind of clicked. Maybe it was already evident before, but when Mikey and Draken are talking about basically the reason I think Mikey likes Takemichi is because he sees his brother, and he says that like indirectly in this episode. It's like, oh, it reminds me of him, kind of thing. But it doesn't really say my brother, but obviously.
Oh yeah.
They do that a lot in anime, ain't it? Him or her. There's a random, like, in quotation marks, like, that guy. Like, what the hell, fam?
and then 10 years later, manga time will be like, oh yeah, that who that guy is.
Yeah. Like,
the worst one annoying. Was when Ace and Blackbeard fought in One Piece. And then it just said, oh, this led to a big incident. And I was like, in 2008, an incident didn't happen until like 2015.
Yeah, all that stuff is long, mate.
I know, bro.
That stuff is long.
And when it comes back, they're like, oh yeah, remember that incident? I'm like, nah, bro. I was like, are you there? You know what I mean? What I did find funny, I guess the only highlight episode was Hina's dad. He's just been annoyed.
Yeah, when he's looking down.
Yeah. Typical. They got that character on point. Typical dad. Just looked annoyed.
Yeah.
But I feel like they messed up a few of the scenes though, like when Takemichi's crying and a few of those. They just wasn't animated as well as drawing the manga, and I think that's been an issue with this entire arc, in my opinion.
That might be part, not necessarily all of the reason as to why I don't necessarily like. I pointed out that scene before because it's not done as good. Yeah, as you said. But then at the same time, I still feel like Takemichi's moist. So, but yeah, that's me.
Excuse me. Yeah. All right. Well, it seems like we've got nothing good to say with this episode. Should we just go on to the scores then?
How do you really feel about the end and the stuff at the temple? Was it just dead still as well?
It was whatever, man. Like, you know what? It was just like the fact that, like, in the manga anyway, it was kind of, I guess it was kind of a bittersweet to see that part because you had like all the good momentum, but I feel like the anime has just had a few errors that just maybe didn't care.
Yeah. You
know what I mean? And then the Hakai bit, I know it's a minor thing where obviously Chifuyu was the one who held the little plaque thing, and that was Hakai. I know it's a minor thing, but it's a little thing like that. I think just winding up the fans, and they're not enjoying it because obviously Taju was animated really well and stuff like that. But also, no, actually, wait, let's discuss Taju, by the way. So he just like he leaves and he's like, oh yeah, violence is the answer. So if not the answer, I'm leaving. Bro, where's the police?
Exactly. There's no police in this whole show. None at all. Like nothing. There's no like real any kind of law going on in this
He
show.
got
It's just
smacked up in church. Man, this smacked up in
yeah,
church ends in Easter or whatever, yeah. Nah, you know.
exactly,
But anyway,
exactly.
it's anime, but
He just gets to walk away scot free, like nothing happened.
I think beat his sister up, beat his brother up, broke up the church. You see, my
Mm,
man's following destruction for the last couple of years, and he's just like, yeah,
mm.
whatever, isn't it? I'm gonna leave for a little bit. I'm like, all right. But let's
Hey.
give your scores, Lewis.
That's some real gangster stuff though, man. You know them gangsters in the movies that can just be like, yeah, just gonna dip out. I'm gonna go head out of town so I don't get caught by the police. One of them kind of
It's like the
situations.
end of Top Boy where it makes it look all glamorous, like that no one gets caught. Basically, they're
No,
Exactly.
still like
I don't think
Exactly. We're still them guys.
yeah, I don't know. And then, well, what we're looking forward to is obviously Tenjiku arc, which we know is going to be amazing, and
Mhm.
they hopefully they don't mess that up when as much as they've
I
done in
hope
the
so too, man.
Yeah,
and
they shouldn't.
and yeah,
They
no,
shouldn't.
it was sick, man. Obviously, seeing Hanma and Kisaki at the end saying, "Oh yeah, we're not done yet" or whatever. So there was some good stuff in the anime, but yeah, we still got what 4 episodes left. So I wonder what we're gonna see in terms of
I have
yeah.
my expectations are low for the next couple episodes, so it is what it
Yeah,
is.
There's a few things that'll be quite good, like when Inapi and Coco join Tokyo Margin Gang. Well, I mean, they might just do a bunch of filler next episode. I don't know, but let's see. I mean, they're
Maybe
adapting what 4 chapters per per episode. But what
per
be interesting,
episode.
you know, there's a random flashback of Draken. There's another random flashback that happens as well. But I wonder when they're going to put that in. Just a random, they're going to randomly put it in somewhere. Doesn't make
I
sense.
mean, maybe they've been putting random shit in all over this fucking bullshit. Let me not swear.
No, that's cool,
Um,
man. But
I'll tell you,
all over the thing anyway. So
the one thing that's going to be good. They're good at cliffhangers for the ending because the
mm,
ending of the first season was really good, and then
mm.
I'm looking forward to something like that at the end. But the bits from now till the end, I don't know what. I feel like I have to read the manga again just to feel like,
You're enjoying it, innit? Just to feel like you're
yeah.
enjoying it. Yeah, I hear you, man. I hear you, but it's like I don't want to read it. I'm not gonna lie, bro.
I've read some of the big scenes like several times. When it first dropped, like the final arc here, that final arc.
hmm
I read that like 20 times. That arc is too sick, man.
I don't even want to. I don't even want to read it again
Like,
because I feel like I'm gonna I'm gonna have my standard way too high and it's gonna fall short.
do you
Yeah,
think
I
maybe
hear you.
because we were gassing it all together at the time, and it was like, oh my god, and it was just like,
What the manga's sick though.
The manga is sick, fam. Let's be honest, the manga is gold. Like even this part that we're talking about that is Loki kind of dead right now. Yeah, this little after the period of the fight in the church and all that kind of stuff. We was cool with it and when we was reading it in the manga, right?
I think
And we just skipped to the next bit because we had the next bit to go to. I feel
yeah,
like this is the issue with anime and the way anime is released. Like when it gets to like parts like this that are not necessarily the best part, yeah, but you still kind of need it for the story to make sense. Yeah.
yeah.
So we're stuck with the boring part and then we're just waiting for the next bit to come.
And a week duration as well, like waiting for a week and it comes in as a dead episode. You're like, oh man,
Exactly.
right,
Exactly.
yeah. All
Exactly.
And I
right,
think
guys.
as
What
well
you saying?
because
Huh?
Go on.
well, I was gonna say I think as well with when you're reading a manga, you're watching those action part, reading them action parts, going, what would this be like when it gets made into an anime?
Facts.
So we get the action part, but it's like it's not quite as good as when you're reading it because obviously we're filling in some blanks in our head. I'm sure. Well, I do
Yeah, of
anyway.
course.
And then now we've got these boring bits, so we didn't really we when you're reading it, it does fill out to them next bits, like you're saying. Yeah, I'm basically repeating what you're saying, bro.
Let's just give our scores, man. This is
Yeah. Please.
Yeah,
yeah.
go on. What you saying?
Lewis, what's your score?
I'll give it a 5.5.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I
And
give it a five, middle of the road.
yeah, I'll give it a 9/9. Obviously, I'm gonna give it a 5. Yeah, it's the episode. It's okay. The arc's over, cool, but just don't know, man. It's just like you said, it's been a bit, lackluster. Lots of that adaptation. We still love Tokyo Revengers. We're not hating on it, but yeah, I think that the anime is just it's not been
Next, man. Next, man. We're done out here with this, bro.
The next anime is Vinland Saga, episode 10, The Cursed Head, which adapts chapters 72 and 73. Well, so what's funny in this one, yeah, and they have no reason for doing this either as well. They've actually adapted the start of chapter 73 happened before 72, and the 72 is all about Canute and his brother and stuff like that. But and then in 73 is when you see Einar and Thorfinn after a couple of years. But my issue is like that bit with Canute, they normally put the bits of Canute to kind of like have a bit of a time skip. If you know what I mean, between and then it comes back to Thorfinn. But they did it where it's just like, because in the last episode we had Thorfinn and Einar, and then in this episode it's been a couple of years, remember? We don't know that because they've just done it in a weird way. But anyway, so we're near the point where Thorfinn and Einar are gonna buy their freedom, and then they're chatting about what they're gonna do when they leave, and Einar's obviously like thinking about taking Arnus with him, but he doesn't know if that's possible.
He can't, mate.
Well,
there's no way. There's no way.
There's no way, mate.
Let me get to it. And obviously, and then after that, we have the whole Canute's actually, it's quite interesting what they've done to the Canute story, because so I'm in two minds about this flashback they did. So you know when Canute comes to see his brother, and he remembers them playing that war game when they were younger.
Yeah.
That flashback's not in the manga, innit? And I think they've put it in there to make him feel more guilty about.
Of course.
You know what I mean? But then
it's all about his inner battle, really, right now.
Yeah.
And
exactly.
the head of the king that he killed, well, that died, that he keeps seeing, that's part of it. So the fact that he's saying that the curse is weighing heavy on him, and he's seeing that he's not accepting food from people, he's asking like questions like, where did that come from? Because he knows like how he could die, because he's done it to people. So that's as you were saying, the inner battle is basically this episode with Canute. Yeah,
Canute's become such a waste man. Like, you know when
a waste man? No way!
No.
What are you talking about, bro?
I'll tell you why.
Waste man where?
He's a weasel, bro. Because when his brother was saying, I give all of Denmark to you, all of Denmark to you, and the way he smiled, the way he was like pretending to be upset.
Bro,
it's like my plan. My plan.
You're meant to play the game, bro. You're meant to play the game. Nah, bro, I'm not letting you have that. That, bro.
I just think, like, don't get me wrong, because he's not a strong guy. He's poisoning people. You know what I mean? He's not like going out there.
What?
No, but he's smart, man. He's doing
what? You got to play the game, fam.
Because if he went and cut his head off, everyone would be like, "Oh, this, that, and the other." But he's doing it.
Brother Eugene, when you're playing chess, does the king take most of the pieces?
No, because the king.
The king gets protected by people. So the king basically tells my man where to go and go murk off them. Go capture the king. Brother, come on, bro. He's playing 3D chess, bro.
But look, okay. I'm just saying, for the era, everyone's all up like this about being a man and fighting in battle and that. And maybe that's why Canute is smarting people, because he's like, I'm not about going head to head with people. I'm just going to poison you. And then, so that's why he's outsmarting people. But I just think like this whole pretense thing he does just annoys me. Because
but he has to do it.
It's the way the way he did it just wound me up. Just when he started smiling, when he was like, I've got the kingdom, and when he was pretending to cry. I just thought
you would do the same thing, bro.
You'll do the same thing, bro. You would do the same thing, mate. You do the same thing. And then especially later on in the episode where he's having a conversation with the head. Yeah, he's like, basically his brother had to go because two kings, there would have been conflict. Yeah, so he made the right decision, bruv.
And he's not strong enough. He's not strong enough to be boxing up, man. So he has to do them.
He's got 4 kills with him, innit? Go big.
But then 4 kills messy, dude. He's messy, bruv. Just go a little bit of, you know what I mean, salt bay action in the foods.
I know.
And you got to keep everyone on your side. So like, if his brother dies naturally, then they're like, okay, it's right for yours.
They're not
But
Nah,
who
stupid.
knows? No one knows that he finished him.
Mm.
No one knows that he finished him. He got welcomed back to the crib with open arms. Yeah.
It's because no one
Said, yeah,
suspects feeble Canute, you know what I mean?
exactly,
this is
bro.
it.
Exactly. That's the point. You're missing the man's
That's why he's a
greatest
weasel,
superpower, bro.
bro. That's why he's a
He's
weasel,
not a
bro.
weasel.
He's a weasel, man.
He's
So
bloody smart.
what
That's
should he
what
do?
is.
What should he do?
He's smart. Yes, I get it. Look, he is smart, yeah. And yes, he has outsmarted all of these other king guys. But I just think, like, I don't know. For me, I just don't like underhanded people like that, man. I feel like if you want to conquer a kingdom, just go to war, bro, innit? War, battle them properly,
Oh,
man.
that's low.
You got the mandem
Brother,
with you, you know.
brother,
That's low.
brother. Why would I sacrifice my men in war when I can go and just poison my men, and then my men are gonna live, and I've got
Yeah.
an even bigger army.
No,
Yeah.
no.
Come on, brother. You're not
Obviously, I
thinking
get
straight,
that,
Eugene.
but
You're not thinking straight, Eugene.
it just wound me up basically when he just like was pretending to cry, and then is that shot, that smile. It was it was so well timed in terms of like story wise and
Mhm.
storytelling. All of that. I think the point I'm making is like they've made these characters so, in my opinion, despicable and so unlikable, but have done it
Mhm.
well. You know what I mean? They've
Mhm.
written such an annoying and that I don't like him, but he's a well written character. You know what I mean?
You don't like him. You don't like him.
Yeah, I
Right?
don't think he's annoying, bro.
I don't think he's. I think he's calm, mate.
I don't know,
Hey,
man.
Eugene, yeah. I think if he was a king, you'll die in like a year. I'm
I
being.
why I don't, because I won't be a snake.
You'll die in like a
Eugene,
year, bro.
Are you able to play strategy games? You know, where you have an
Of
army
course.
and I bet you
Nah,
just send
bro.
them out. Go, go,
No,
Like,
go.
hey, yo, everyone,
I'm,
everyone
I'm
go
not,
to war.
I'm not just poison my man and then be like, you know what I mean? It's okay. Look, my thing is I think it's him as a character. Seeing him grow up here and the way he's like a waste man at the end of season 1 year, and now he's acting like I'm the big king, but it's just like the way he's doing it is proper waste, it's proper moist in my opinion, the way he's doing it. You know what I mean?
Okay.
All the other kings are battling and conquering lands and taking it the way they want, taking it through battle, in it. But he's like, just like, I don't know, like a snake. Oh, I'm just gonna.
That's his, but that's his way of war. That's his way of war.
Fine.
He
I don't like
understands.
it.
He understands that he's not. He understands that he's not the war man. So he's
Yeah.
like, okay, you know what? I'm the smart guy. So let me get rid of the people the correct way. So I save myself, save my men.
The correct
Yeah,
way.
the correct way. You know what I mean? I can even walk into the enemy's place, shake your hand, and you're gonna be like, yeah, well, go on. I'm happy to
Yeah.
see you, even though you just iced my man. Like, come on, bro.
I think his main advantage is the fact that in that time, everyone's like really like manly, want to fight and go to Valhalla, and because he's not like that or cares, he's basically outsmarting them basically by doing it this way, which is true. I get it, but I still think he's a weasel though. You know what I mean? But
we ain't gonna change your mind.
Okay, but
You're stuck on this weasel tick, so we're gonna leave you with it, bro.
But in terms of the episode itself, the episode it was another good episode. Even swapping around the things, I mean, they could have done it or not done it. It didn't make that much of a difference. It was just, I don't know, reading manga and you see that it's just a bit jarring. But it didn't really...
at the same time, because it's a time skip for both of them. Yeah. So even if it started with Canute, we would still have to understand, okay, it's a time skip, so how would they introduce that?
No, because at the start of this bit of Canute, you can see he looks physically older. Because when we last saw him, he had like less of beard, he had a bit longer hair, but now he's got a massive goatee now. And which man, he's got long and he's got he's cut his hair a little bit. So it would have just made sense to just have gone there. Because this is what they did in the manga. They basically A&R fourth in, go to Canute, time skip. And then it even says before the Canute part, there's a little monologue at the start that talks about what's happened, and that kind of tells you, we're in a different point of time. You know what I mean? Time is gone. So that was my only. I mean, it didn't kill the episode or anything like that, but just it.
So they used the trees then to give a prediction of the time skip, because obviously before there was loads of trees and now they chopped the last tree down.
Yeah, exactly. What even
that would have taken time,
and they even said that, and he even said it as well after when they cut down the last. It was like, it's basically been 3 years.
Well, no, exactly.
I was so proud for them though. I felt proud.
Proud dad, yeah. You were like, yeah. So Lewis, obviously you've not read the manga. What are your thoughts on where do you think it's going then?
I feel like this part now is that calm before the storm for me. That's what I think it's going, because it's all going great for Thorfinn and Einar. It
Mm.
can't keep going that way. They're gonna get messed up. And the fact that we're going into Canute, I think there's gonna be a crossover at some point. I don't know. That's what I feel. It has to be, or there's gonna be some drama at the
Mm.
farm. But then I just don't know how the Canute bit has to come over because what's the point of even having him there if they're not gonna cross over?
That makes sense.
What
That
about you
makes sense.
feel? How you feeling?
I don't know. Right now, I'm not gonna lie. I'm kind of stuck. I'm kind
Mm.
of stuck in the middle ground because obviously where it's at in the manga now, I'm low key forgetting how it got there, right? And then um in a little bit at the end, the little preview of the next episode, there's characters there that I'm like, okay, so they're gonna go see them, and then I'm like, okay, then what happens next after this? So it's just I'm in that what's the word? I still need to remember how it gets to where it is in the manga. So I'm like my expectations is not really crazy right now,
So you're not
if that
finding it a
makes
bit
any sense.
frustrating because it's like watching it for the first time again.
Kind of, yeah, because I'm like, oh crap, I know where it's at, but how do they get there? That's what I don't think I'm wording it right, but basically what you said is trying what I'm trying to say.
Mm.
But I hear you, Yeah, it's going well. It's like I enjoyed the episode. It's it's we're going down a bit of road to madness. It's been too not easy going, but I think I've had it a bit eight and fourth, and anyway, I've had it a bit simple in these last couple of years. Like
Hmm.
they're about to get their
Yeah,
freedom.
Hmm.
That's mangas aren't that nice, man. You know what I mean? When they just
that's
give
what
it
I'm saying. Yeah.
yeah. But
How many more
I
episodes are there gonna be? Do we know?
think it's like I think it's like 24, you know.
Oh, so we got a while there.
I think I'm not
I
sure.
think that season one was like 24, I think, or something like
Yeah.
that.
I think they're gonna adapt because in the trailer they showed obviously there's a character coming in the show, and
Yeah,
there's a
it's
few characters.
24 episodes.
Yeah. So it's
All
still
right.
quite long. But
Oh,
they're
so we
gonna
got 14 more episodes. That's great.
the arc after this is amazing, man. Like top tier, man. Honestly. Um, but do you guys want to give your scores? Your final scores?
I liked it. I liked it a lot. Um, so I'm gonna say like 8.5 for the episode. I liked it. I'd more so like the Canute stuff with that whole his story and how he's developed and that. So yeah, liked it. The art was good. Art and animation was good this episode as well.
So Lewis, what's your score?
I'm gonna give it an 8. I think it was nice to have a more of a deep dive into Canute's mind, and obviously he's a smart chess player, not just a brute force like Eugene wants. I was proud of Thorfinn and
No.
Aina's accomplishment. So yeah, 8. I'm looking forward to the action that's gonna come. I know it's gonna come.
Cool,
Okay.
man.
What are you giving it, Eugene?
Yeah, it was a good episode. 7.5. It was a cool episode. Yeah, it was cool seeing obviously Lewis's farmer friends come a long way, and yeah, and I think the writing was good. It was all fine. I mean, you know what? Actually, because of the last bit with the talking head, that kind of like psychological part, I'll give it an A actually.
Hmm.
Because that psychological part
Oh,
with that, yeah, I thought was sick, and I find it very interesting, especially in like Vinland Saga that um the Thorfinn and Canute are both manifest like the people they hate the most to give them advice. And I find that very
true.
interesting and very a clever way of storytelling. So I thought that him having a conversation with his dad,
Hmm.
it's mad because it's Canute's becoming the guy he hates the most, where Thorfinn is becoming more further away from the guy who he hates the most. And I feel like there's a
Hmm.
massive parallel between the two characters, and I feel like it's interesting to see if there's going to be more of those, you know, parallel between them two in the storytelling and how it plays in their psyche and stuff like that. But fantastic that from that point of view.
Hmm.
Yeah. Join us next week for another edition of Pen on Frames Weekly Anime Podcast. We'll be talking again about the epic that is Tokyo Revengers Christmas arc. And we'll continue with the magnificent Vinland Saga, which is continuing to up the game every week in storytelling and animation. See you guys later. Like, subscribe, and comment.